You are now tuned in to the Off the Porch podcast with the podcast point guard, Derek Lamont. Coming off them screens, hitting them threes, giving you that information that you need. Coming back through, coming off their screen, launching that information back door, leading you to that information as only I can. Yo, we back off the Porch podcast. This episode is actually titled What the What, and we're going to get to you about what the what really is. Now, in that breath, there's been a lot since my last episode that's happened. We've seen the Carolina Panthers get their second victory against them lowly Falcons. Smart kid in the slow class moment. I'm going to take it. Bryce didn't lose him the game. Bryce didn't win him the game. He managed the game perfectly. I'm highly excited. But before I could go any further, I would be remiss not to call out and shout out the supporters of the Off the Porch. First of all, the greatest supporter, been my truest supporter, Jamita Laree. We love you. You've been jumping off the porch the whole time. We thank you. We love you from the bottom of our hearts. To Alvin People's Choice Podcast, Wrestle Theory Podcast. I might be older than you, but when it came to the podcast game, you was most definitely the OG for me. Check him out anywhere you digest your podcast. I mean, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, all of them. Check him out. Dope listen, inspirational dude. You gotta love that guy. I love that guy. Yo, shout out to A1 Robertason, one of the dopest artists I've seen in a long time, and that don't even just come off a straight bias to him being family, but for the fact that that man got hits like Hold On, Clickers, oh, Shoot Off the Porch, all different type of things that we got going on with him right now. He'll be dropping soon. You know he always got something in the kitchen. He got something in the lab. But anywhere you digest that good music, please go check out A1 Robertason. D Ambitions, manager extraordinaire, got other things going on. You'll like to check that out. Florida Maldonado, my baby brother, I love you to death, bro. Hey, put it like this: heaven is the ceiling. Heaven is the ceiling, bro. Heaven is the ceiling. And to everybody, I can't take the whole video just sitting here shouting out everybody, but I love all y'all. The Murchison 3, my mama. Hey, always shout out to your mama. But as we get into it, I really wanted to come to y'all because there's a lot of interesting things that have been going on. The first thing that I really wanted to harp on today was brother Ja Morant. Oh, oh boy. The West is back, people. Memphis, celebrate. Y'all been waiting for this. Y'all been waiting for this for a minute now. The prime time. Not Dion. Blockbuster, not the video. Just supreme team, not the clothing, baby. It's coming back on the floor for the Memphis Grizzlies. It's a lot of people with mixed emotions about Ja Morant. I've had a lot of mixed emotions about Ja Morant. But at the end of the day, because I'm an understanding individual, I'm not a judgmental individual. He's a young man worth, we not pocket watching, but just say that man money long, super long, near long, all the way long, anything long, foot long, all long. That's him. That's the money. Pause. One of the greatest athletes at point guard the NBA has ever seen. One of just the best overall players of this generation. These young people's generation. Ja Morant. The boy is an assassin. He will cut you up from jumpers to crossovers to steals to the. You know what it is. You know what it is about that boy. And that boy about to come out. You act like in these last 8, 9 months, however long since these altercations, that man hasn't heard the comments. He hasn't read the comments. He ain't heard all your little commentary, your snide remarks, everything. That boy's a dog. He is a dog. Dog. And he coming. Now, in most cases, when we talk about an athlete who's been suspended or that has done something, we normally be sitting here like, well, you know what, we don't condone what he did, and we just hope that he's made a change for the better. And you start getting into a whole lot of long talk, really not saying nothing but saying a whole lot while not saying nothing. The question that I posed today: what did Ja Morant do? Ask yourself. In totality, when you look at society, when you look at your everyday people, when you look at people just in general, what did Ja Morant do that rendered 25 games? Is it because the policy was violated for the second time? I'll take that, because policy, whatever. It's not my business. If it's a business and I ran it, then I guess I could dictate that better. But if the NBA says that that's not a good look, and he continued to do it, then okay, 25 games. But people, it is not a crime to do stupid things. It's not a crime to be foolish. It's not a crime to be young, wild, and free and reckless. It's not. Until someone else is hurt, yourself is hurt, it trickles down. And in this situation, not defending anything, I'm totally neutral. I don't see what Ja Morant did wrong. Full-fledged, I don't know what he did wrong. I can't say what he did. The reason why I can't say exactly what he did is because, one, we have the right to bear arms. Did he have any business taking a firearm to the strip club? The first thing I got to say about that, if it's me, if it was my homeboy, if it was the dude down the street, and there was a gun in the strip club and it belonged to them and nobody got shot and the gun didn't get fired or nothing of that nature, you wouldn't care. Be honest with yourself. You would not care not at all. You wouldn't care. I don't care. To tell you the truth, in that whole situation of the strip club and so forth, I blame the strip club. First of all, I'm a multi-million-dollar athlete, which means if one multi-million-dollar athlete has strolled through there, multiple multi-million-dollar athletes have visited and frequented this establishment. From actors to celebrities, singers, ball players, the football, all of it. They've been there. Ja Morant didn't just walk up and say, hey, I'm going to this strip club today. Ain't nobody in here. He going where the finest of the finest is. 9 times out of 10, the finest and the finest are where the money is. So therefore, this place is not foreign. It's not foreign to having people with long money, celebrity, name recognition, and so forth. Y'all out here releasing video of him in the private room. In the private room with his gun. As far as I recall, he didn't smack the chick in the head. I just saw him making it rain. Now, if we want to talk about irresponsibility, there's probably better, we know there's better things that he could be making it rain on. Just throwing it. But he chose that night to bless a young lady. That's what we're going to call it. Bless a young lady. Maybe helped her with her college tuition. Maybe the lights would do. Maybe the rent was due. Who cares? It ain't my bill. It ain't my bread. But what I'm saying is when a man with that type of money, that type of status walks into one of those establishments, discretion is key. Discretion has always been key. If I ran an old mom and pop juke joint and for some strange reason, LaMelo Ball walks in, hey, there's a lot of people got to get out that door because you're not going to jeopardize the future money making opportunities I can have if I keep out the undesirables, those that want to keep their cell phone running, those that want to do a blog, those that want to be seen, those that want to extort, those trying to get paid off of somebody else. Now, I understand that we go back to the Jones. He's a basketball player. He has a responsibility to these kids. And that these kids don't need to see him getting danced on in a strip club while money flying in the air and he got that thing in his hand. In the great words of Sir Charles Barkley, Ja Morant is not a role model. He is not a role model. Just because he plays basketball does not mean that he's responsible for your children. Now, should he adhere himself in a manner that young kids would want to aspire to be him and do great things and achieve their goals like he did and put in the work and it pays off and be the number 2, number 1, whatever pick you want to be, or be the best rocket scientist or presidential candidate or chemical engineer or whatever? He is a blueprint because he showed what happens when you put in hard work and dedication. He just plays as hard as he works. But I do agree that it is not their responsibility to raise your children, but it is a responsibility of being someone of that ilk that you would try to carry yourself in a manner that will not stray children astray. Now, was it a good look? No, it wasn't a good look. Was it a horrible look? Was it the worst look you could have? No. When we start talking that, let's talk Miles Bridges. Let's talk Miles. Miles Mike Tyson punched out his old lady. Just stomped John's little son on the phone, sitting there, grandma, daddy choking mama. He done hit her. He hit her all the time, grandma. He hits her all the time, grandma. That bothered me more than hearing about Ja Morant holding a little and making it rain in the club. I mean, doggone, this ain't Ray Caruth. He didn't sit there and put a hit out on the baby mama because he didn't want a baby, and then when they come back on, we find him in a trunk in Tennessee. No, that ain't what happened. This ain't the Ray Lewis murder trial when doggone he was fighting for his life because a man died on Super Bowl Sunday and he was out there holding that thing. This is not that. Irresponsible, yes. Criminal, no. Civil, no. It's not a crime. I am not of no substance or no one's guide to put anybody in heaven or hell. All right. He is a grown man, be it a young grown man that's worth upward of a lot of millions. He's going to have some trial and error moments. He's going to have some F around and find out moments. And he has F'd around and found out. Now, like when we were saying about Miles, Miles did his time suspension-wise. Did all the things that he needed to do to get back on the floor for the Charlotte Hornets. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to you. But to be quite honest with you, bro, I pray that they give Ja Morant the same grace that they gave you. And the reason why I say that is, bro, since you came back after you signed your deal, and probably that was the last time I heard anything about your discretions. And hey, my father's a forgiver. I'm a forgiver. Hey, bro, you do you. But I ain't heard a thing about you in your past since you got on that floor. And you started getting them alleys. And you started hitting them threes. And then you was chased down blocking. Yeah, y'all ain't winning no games, but you have been performing, sir. And I thank you for that because me being a Hornet. I just pray, though, that when Ja Morant gets out there and Ja start doing them Ja things, y'all, Malika Andrews, I don't want to hear about he was in there flashing a You know you good for that. Stephen A. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, we're glad he's back after he's learned his lesson from flashing the huh. Don't do that, brother. Because see, you in particular, Stephen A., I'm so incredibly disappointed in you. The reason why I'm so disappointed in you, brother, 2 words, Josh Giddey. But this ain't no Josh Giddey. This ain't no Josh Giddey episode. But Stephen A., you know. And if you happen to watch this, Stephen A., you know. But what I want to talk to about societal, I wanted to get the Ja Morant out the way because to me, I felt that was even easier. Draymond Green. Draymond. Well, I tell you, when you got a black dude with the last name Green, bro, I tell you, it's like life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Now, when we talk about Draymond, I love Draymond Green. All right. Am I a Golden State Warriors fan? No, not in the least bit. But the reason why I love Draymond is because of nostalgia, man. I grew up watching basketball like Charles Oakley, Robert Parrish trying to hit Bill Lambert in the back of the head, and Rick Mahorn trying to choke slam Kevin McHale, and the Bad Boys, and even the new rendition of the Bad Boys of Detroit that had Ben Wallace and Big Rasheed Wallace, which Rasheed Wallace takes a lot of credit for what the Draymond that we see. Because, you know, Draymond was from Michigan. Draymond's best friend, his daddy was like part of the front office of the Pistons, and Draymond was around that culture. And Rasheed Wallace, he blames Chauncey Billups. He blames himself. He blames the whole team because that was their style of play. That was their era. The rules was not so offensive-minded and flashy and razzle-dazzle that you could actually sit there and play legitimate D. Now, let me get back to it, Paul. Now, let me get back to it. The reason why a lot of new age people don't want to have that conversation is because they've been trying to spin the narrative because it was a physical game and guys looked like they should have been working in the brickyard instead of in the NBA, and cats was drinking during halftime and doing their cocaine and fighting. Hold up, I don't know. Can I say cocaine on here? Well, they did them little substances. And basically what I'm saying is they don't have the same level of respect. But really you should, because y'all literally y'all do not play defense. Y'all are some of the most offensively gifted individuals that I've ever seen in my life. Some of the most offensive gifted people that I've ever seen in my life, but can't play a lick of D to save your life because you're scared of physical basketball. Draymond grew up in a time where you go in that hole too many times and that shot get too easy. We gonna shoulder check you. I'm tiny. I am little. And I expected to get dropped on my head in a game. I expected to catch that screen that was gonna make my teeth click. I knew when I got home, my body was going to be sore. That was a younger version of me, and I could shake that thing off. I couldn't play that ball now, at least not without one of them little cotton things of Epsom salt, some biofreeze, some ice, some heating pads, 3 great women that love me that want to oil me and massage me. It will take a whole lot now for me to be in there. But the way medicine and medical, and look at how LeBron James take care of his body. But do you see how easy he falls to the ground? And you'll go, D, we know that's acting and that's flopping. But you can do that because of the culture. Okay. Did Draymond have to kick LeBron in the nether regions? No. That was extra. No, he didn't. Let's see, what's some of the other because Draymond's got so many hits. Let the guillotine choke of Rudy Gobert. Okay, let's be honest now. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy, but I got to be that guy. How many of y'all have turned on y'all TV and saw Rudy Gobert and thought, you know what? If I was there, I'd choke Rudy Gobert too. He do. Look, he's got a punchable face. He's 7 foot everything and plays my height. Shout out to Rudy. Rudy gave half the team COVID because he wanted to play around the microphones during a very non-playing type of time. Draymond choked out Rudy Gobert for Donovan Mitchell. Y'all like that. You feel me? You feel me? Oh, and then let me say what we got. What else we got? Let's see. He has violated a lot of people. I mean, some warranted, some unwarranted, some funny, some not so funny. But spinning spinning back fist that he gave you some Nurkic, man. That might have been one of the dumbest things that an individual could do. But this is why I love Draymond. He getting the press conference. Hey, man, that's how I sell, man. That's how I flare my arms. I was just going up, flare to hit the man in the face. Now, we saw the video. But Draymond stood on that hill. It was an accident. I love Draymond Green. Paul, Draymond, that dude you want on your side. Because let's be quite honest. Let's talk about Draymond. Highly intelligent, brother. Highly intelligent. Highly a loyal brother. A hard-working brother. Will stand by you. Maybe KD not so much when they had that thing, but even they smoothed that out. And it seemed like that was more of a Golden State problem than a Draymond and KD problem. A dude that, if he's got to fight alongside you, he will fight for you. You know what that sounds like to me? Sound like a friend. And if I got a friend that'll crash out when he thinks, not knows, but thinks I'm in jeopardy, that's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. Shout out to Draymond Green. To me, to be quite honest, we could take some of a little bit of the flagrantness out of his play. Just a little bit. Just take some of that sting out of it. Get some of that bitterness. Get that bite out of it. Give me 4 Draymond Greens on my squad. I know all 4 of them ain't starting, but I'm going to have some come off the reserve. You got to have a backup Draymond. I tell you, the work that man puts into his craft, and I don't mean in just being an overly athletic offensive weapon. The thing is, Draymond was born late. Let's be real. Draymond was built late. He was supposed to have been battling with the guy that we don't talk about that's in Utah, the Charles Barkleys, the Sean Kemps, the Ewans, the Oakleys, the Bill Cartwrights, the Rick Mahorns and so forth. That was who Draymond was really supposed to have been battling. That's his game. Draymond Green's basketball game is mid-80s to late 90s. That is his skill set. And he's playing it and has survived as not just a defensive player of the year, but multiple NBA champion, playing late 80s, mid-80s to late 90s basketball. Don't give me that junk. Well, anybody can do that when they got a Steph and they got a Clay, because when you listen to Steph and you listen to Clay, you listen to Steve Kerr, you listen to Bob Myers, and you listen to the rest of them, they need Draymond. Regardless how you feel about him, he's good in the role that he's played. This year, he just crashed out. Maybe he's going through some things. I don't know what that man got going on at home, but all I'm saying is, I love me a Draymond Green. Hope to see you back soon. Hope that you take some of that bite out of it, because I'm going to tell you right now, people, basketball needs the Draymond Green. Y'all sitting there wanting to hug and love on Dylan Brooks because doggone, he gets under LeBron's skin. Who was getting under it first? Who did it better? Draymond, not Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks is trying to read out of Draymond's book. So how is he going to be better than the individual that wrote the book? But let's get off Draymond. I was getting a little emotional. I do love Draymond. I talk junk about Draymond, the Warriors fans. Shout out to Nate. But when you look at it in totality, our whole society has changed into a degree of how we perceive these athletes and how we look at these athletes and how these athletes go about their work and they go about their business and how they get down. And it's actually a shame because, like, I'm a Carolina Panther. I'm always going to be a Carolina Panther. Keep pounding. And the biggest debate that we had all year outside of trying to figure out why the coaching was horrible, why the offense won't moving, has been CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. Two different quarterbacks indeed. And the main thing that I have to say about really any of that is